Hi, Willie here. Hannah here. Hi, Miss Mantel, and anyone else who's watching. Before I start, just want to say that I miss you and I miss class. This is definitely one of my favorite classes, and I don't say that about many. But yes, I definitely miss this class, and I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're at least making some kind of fun out of this, to the best of your ability. But yeah, I hope you're just doing well. Anyways, let's hop into my presentation. So for my nonviolent activist project, I did Dorothy Height, and after doing my research on her, I realized that she is a very, very powerful individual, and I didn't really know much about her. I didn't really know of her before this project, and I think she should be talked about more. Um, I just think she's a very influential person and a very powerful woman. So hopefully in the future, and hopefully I can also help bring her name up more in conversations and help people learn about her. So I think she's a very great role model. But yes, so I'll be doing my presentation on Dorothy Height. Let's get into it. So first off, I wanted to start off with one of my favorite quotes by her, which is, "What they didn't understand is that when I help someone, I am also elevated by that," which I think is a very, very powerful quote. And it kind of takes me back to how us students have to do service for our service hours, and that when we do help people, it does also affect us as people and as humans. And I think she put that into perfect wording. So let's start with the basics. Who is Dorothy Height? So her name is Dorothy Irene Height, and she was born March 24th, 1912 in Richmond, Virginia. She passed away April 20th, 2010. So she lived a good 98 years, and she's a very, very beautiful woman. I mean, started beautiful, ended beautiful. But yeah, she was a very, very gorgeous woman, and she also had style. The pictures I've seen of her, um, and I saw a lot, she definitely has a taste in fashion, and I really respect that. But let's continue. Her life story. So, she was born in Richmond, Virginia. However, after she was born, she moved to Rankin, Pennsylvania. She grew up her childhood in Pennsylvania and grew into her teenage years. And eventually in high school, she discovered a great talent of hers, which is she was a great orator or a talented public speaker. And when I learned this, I really respected that and looked up to her for that because I don't know about you, but definitely for me, I am not the best public speaker. I'm very, very nervous, and um, even doing this right now, I'm still just as nervous, but um, I think that's very, very cool. And she saw that and decided to use it and take advantage of it. And she eventually attended a national oratory competition, which I didn't even know those existed. Um, but because she was such an amazing orator, she actually won the national oratory competition and received a scholarship for college for it. Um, and everything seems to be going well and everything, but she does hit a little obstacle in the road. She eventually applied to Barnard College in New York. However, when the time came for her to, all right, set off into the world and experience this new chapter in her life and actually develop herself, um, sorry about that. She received word from the college that they had actually reached the limit on black students. And so she was eventually denied acceptance, which I think is very, very heartbreaking. I think that if our college, that we were accepted into our dream school and we got there and they said, "Oh, we cannot accept you because we already have too many people of your race." I think that's a very, very heartbreaking thing to hear. But her being a very powerful woman, she decided that no, I'm not going to give up. And she applied to New York University. So she applied in NYU and she earned 2 degrees. She earned a bachelor's degree in education in 1930 and a master's degree in psychology in 1932. After all of her hard work in college, she began working as a caseworker with the New York City Welfare Department. And I also really love this photo of her. She looks very, very beautiful. Little model. Now we move into her non-violent actions where they begun. So her fight for equal rights. So she joined the National Council of Negro Women to fight for equal rights of African Americans and the African American women, which here's a picture of the council down here. We love all of these beautiful, empowered women. Yes, we do. Soleil. Okay. And she joined the National Council of Negro Women, and she also joined the national staff of the Young Women's Christian Association. And she eventually also met the founder and the educator for the National Council of Negro Women, Mary McLeod Bethune. And she also met the First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt, who actually came to visit the facility, which I thought was so, so cool. And this is a picture of Eleanor Roosevelt and Dorothy. And this is when Miss Eleanor Roosevelt received the Mary McLeod Bethune Human Rights Award from Dorothy Height. I think this is a very, very cute photo. I really, really like it. She also helped establish the YWCA's Center for Racial Justice, and she became the president of the National Council of Negro Women in 1957, which I thought was amazing. She also, which I thought this was fascinating, she worked with the Big Six of the Civil Rights Movement. And if you don't know who the Big Six of the Civil Rights Movement are, they are Martin Luther King Jr., Philip Randolph, Roy Wilkins, Whitney Young, John Lewis, and James Farmer. And also a fun fact is that she was also present and near and stood by Martin Luther King Jr. when he gave his very, very famous I Have a Dream speech, which I thought that was also very fascinating. Recognized for her empowerment. So she eventually retired from the YWCA in 1977, but she continued to run the NCNW. She also organized the very first Black Family Reunion, which is a celebration of traditions and values, which is still held every single year. And this event holds around 10,000 people, which, wow, I think that's amazing. She has also received many awards. For example, she received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from Bill Clinton, and she also received the Congressional Gold Medal from George W. Bush, which this is actually a picture of her receiving the Congressional Gold Medal from George W. Bush. I told you she has style. I'm just telling you. I'm just saying. She really does. I really love that about her. It's another thing I look up to her about. She also eventually stepped down as the president of the NCNW in the 1990s, and she turned her 90th birthday party into a fundraiser for the NCNW, which I thought was so, so very cool. And this became such a big deal that Oprah Winfrey and Don King were some celebrities that contributed to the fundraiser. She eventually also befriended Barack Obama, and they became good friends. And he called and referenced Dorothy Height to the godmother of the civil rights movement, which I thought was very, very cool. That's the way he worded it. And this is also a picture of Miss Dorothy Height and Mr. Obama, which this is one of my favorite pictures. I think it's so, so, so cute. Beliefs and what she fought for. So Dorothy Height called and believed in calling on the Black community to become more independent. She also believed in working to improve the conditions for Black domestic workers. Along with work, she also believed in making sure that she was more focused on getting work done rather than who got the credit. Whoever got the credit was the least of her worries. What she was doing and what she was fighting for, that's what she woke up for every single day, and I have a lot of respect for that. And finally, another quote that I really, really like from her is, "We have to improve life, not just for those who have the most skills and those who know how to manipulate the system, but also for and with those who often have so much to give but never get the opportunity." So my sources, I have 7 sources, and that's the end of my presentation. So thank you so much for watching. Sorry I was a little bit glitchy. Um, I'm having little technical difficulties, but thank you so very much for watching, and I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope to see you all soon. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.